Hey guys, it is Derrick from daysdesigns.com, and today I'll be bringing you guys a new YouTube video on the basics of logo design and my top 5 tips for how to create a successful logo design. So to start off, what exactly is a logo design? So a logo design is pretty much an icon, a symbol, or a mark that represents a company, a brand, an organization, as well as a team. So this means that an icon, symbol, a mark, really needs to act as a visual representation of what a company stands for, the meaning behind a company, or just as an overall face for a company. Alright, so now that we've gone over the basics of what a logo design is, we're going to touch on how a logo design can be used and the 3 main types of a logo design. So, logo designs are usually used for any branding, and this means any marketing, any advertisements, as well as on the front and back of your business cards. It can be seen on commercials, billboards, favicons on your website, or for your website I should say, as well as the icons or avatars for social media profiles. And there are generally 3 main types of a logo design. So the first main type is a word mark or a logo type. And there are plenty of successful logo designs, and I'll quickly give you guys 3 great examples of some of the most well-known and my favorite word marks. So I'm pretty sure you guys can relate to this. One of the most well-known word mark logos is the Coca-Cola logo design. This is usually seen on billboards, advertisements, commercials, as well as the side of their soda can. Really well done. And another great word mark logo is Google. So if you go to google.com and you see the word Google, that's in quite a few different colors, that is their word mark logo. No matter how plain you may think it looks, it works well for their brand and what they do. So the last example, which is my favorite example of a word mark logo, is the Kellogg's logo design. So if you ever eaten Kellogg's cereal in the morning, I really grew up eating this a lot. I began to hate it and then moved on to other cereal. However, I still always love the logo design. And it's like a red logo. It's usually on the top part of the cereal box, sometimes on the side. Feel free to check it out. And so those are the 3 main examples of what a word mark logo can look like. So the second style of a logo design is an abstract icon or abstract iconography. So a few great examples, and as well as one of the most well-known examples is the Nike swoosh logo design. This is an abstract icon, very big brand. I'm sure that all of you guys can relate to this one. So another great example of an abstract icon would be Sprint's logo design. I know my mom, she has a Sprint cell phone, and I remember looking at it and it has like 3 stripes. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it is an abstract logo. And the third example would be the Mitsubishi logo design. So if you guys have ever been on the highway driving behind a Mitsubishi and it's got 3 diamonds, left, right, and then one on the top, that is their logo design. So again, those are 3 great examples of abstract icons for logo design. Alright, and the last style of a logo design is a pictorial logo. These are by far my favorite types of logo designs, mainly because I create these the most often, usually for sports teams, esports teams, and so on and so forth. And these can be seen everywhere. If you guys are aware, with the Lacoste brand, they have an alligator illustration, as well as Apple counts as a pictorial logo design. And another great example would be the NFL sports team, the Philadelphia Eagles. This is one of my favorite sports logos, really well done. I remember first studying this logo when I started off in sports logos not too long ago. So yeah, these are my favorite types of a logo design, and this is the 3rd type of a logo. So next we'll move on to my top 5 tips for creating a successful logo design. Alright, so now that we've gone over the basics of what a logo design is, 3 main types of a logo design, I'm going to give you guys my top 5 tips for creating a successful logo. So tip number 1 has to be scalability. So your logo designs really need to be scalable. Because one thing, like I said previously in the video, or earlier in the video, is that logo designs can be seen on billboards, but not just on billboards. They're also seen as very, very small favicons on the top of websites, as well as icons or avatars for social media profiles. So they need to work from a centimeter to an inch in height and width, and as well as very, very large on a billboard, as well as advertisement campaigns and so on and so forth. So scalability, guys, is really important. And step number 2 will be making sure your logo is simple, or it has a great amount of simplicity to it. So why is simplicity so important? Again, one reason why simplicity is so important is because it makes it a lot easier for your logo design to work in different mediums, in different sizes, and it also helps it create, it's also easier for it to be scalable. If your logo design has way too many details, guys, it's really gonna look good on a big billboard. Of course, it'll look good, in the middle of a sports stadium. That would be really amazing to see your logo design there. However, if it doesn't work on a smaller scale, there could really be problems with the branding and so on and so forth, and it would probably have to get redone sometime in the future. So making sure your logo designs, whether they be pictorial-based logo designs or abstract icons, really making sure they have a sense of simplicity to them really helps along with the logo design process. So step number 3, or tip number 3 for creating a successful logo design will be relevance. Making sure your logo design is relevant to your client, is relevant to their brand and their audience is super important. A great example is right now across from me there is a business that creates custom golf carts. So the easiest way, or the simplest example to make sure that their logo is relevant, is to have some sort of example of a golf cart or something like that in their logo design. Obviously this is definitely not necessary, but one way to make the logo design irrelevant would be to put a tank or a dump truck or even a Ferrari, some type of sports car, in their logo design. It doesn't really relate to a golf cart unless they're creating golf carts that look like Ferraris, which would be epic, and I would definitely be renting one. So next up, step number 4, or again tip number 4 for creating a successful logo design, have to be making sure that your logo design is unique. Yes, unique. Having a unique logo is very important, and most people do understand this. However, sometimes they can be unique in comparison to a logo design that's in a different field or industry. But if you look at that logo design in comparison to others inside of that industry they're in, saying it's a logo design for a lawyer's brand, or some kind of startup company in the tech world, making sure that the logo design is very unique is super important, because it really makes it memorable. You want to make sure that their brand sticks out just enough so that it can be properly identified in comparison to the other brands, organizations, and companies that it is competing with. So, looking at a specific brand's competitors can really help, make sure that your logo design is unique enough that it sticks out, but it's not too unique to the point where it's irrelevant and it doesn't work with our previous tips. And tip number 5 will have to be making sure your logo design is timeless. And even when I hear making sure your logo design is timeless, I'm always thinking, like, how can I make this design timeless, last a while, and really work well for the brand next year and as well as the years to come. So one of the easiest ways to make sure your logo design is timeless is to make sure you're avoiding any trends. And my main reason for this is because if you really think about it, trends are great. They're awesome in the moment. They're really great for marketing campaigns, for advertisements, really creating more traffic and eyeballs on that specific brand. However, trends have a tendency to go out of style. So if your logo design is based on a specific trend and it goes out of style, that means your logo design goes right out the window with that trend. And that is the last thing you want for a brand or a company. You really need their logo design to work really well, no matter what time it is, especially if you think about other great successful logo designs that have previously been made and that are still being used today, like ABC's logo design, and a great example as well would be Nike and Coca-Cola. So those are my top 5 tips for creating a successful logo design, as well as the basics of what a logo design is and the main types of a logo. I really hope you guys enjoy this video, as it is a different style of video from my previous ones. You guys enjoyed this video or find any value from this content, please feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll be sure to respond to you guys as soon as possible. Would love to hear any feedback, and as well, I hope you guys enjoy the content. So as always, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.